Hey, 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 good morning, friends. How's everybody doing? I wanted to drop in on you all just for a few minutes while I am getting myself ready for the day. No, this is not a makeup tutorial because your girl don't know what she's doing. But while I'm getting dressed, while I'm putting my makeup on, I wanted to spend a few minutes speaking to you all about the HeartWork Academy. For those of you who don't know me, I am Dr. Patrice Buckner Jackson, but you can call me PBJ. And I am the founder and creator of the Disrupting Burnout podcast, but also the HeartWork Academy. And in the HeartWork Academy, we are disrupting burnout so that you can love not just your work, but your life again, friend. And today I wanted to come talk to you all because one of the primary questions I get about the HeartWork Academy is, can I join if I'm not burnt out? Hey, Tanya, good to see you, girl. Can I join if I'm not burnt out? And the short answer is yes. Right? Yes. If you know you are not living in the fullness of the brilliance that God created for you, then you need to come on in to the HeartWork Academy. When I think about burnout, it doesn't start with rock bottom burnout. It never starts with rock bottom burnout. So there are three phases of what I call the cycles of burnout. So when we're disrupting burnout, we are disrupting those cycles. And there are three phases, right? Two before you get to actual burnout. The first phase I call surviving. Now, many people that I meet, they are in surviving. That means that they know they're not living in their brilliance. They know that they're just barely keeping it together, right? Like, okay, I recognize something in my heart is telling me this is not it, but it's good enough. It's fine. I'm okay. I don't need intervention. I don't need anybody to do anything. It's fine. Anytime I hear fine, how's work? It's fine. How's home? It's fine. How you doing, girl? I'm fine. Anytime I hear fine, that's an indication to me that you are surviving. Surviving means you are living less than where God called you to live. Point blank, period. You might be doing okay. Your money might be okay. Your family might be okay. Everything's fine, but nothing is thriving. Nothing is in brilliance. And surviving is the first phase of the burnout cycle. It doesn't start with hitting rock bottom burnout. It starts with surviving. This is good enough. Yes, men can join. I've had a few men reach out to me, and men are welcome. If you can handle it, come on in, brothers. I expect we might have a couple good men join us, but that's a good question, Tanya. So if you know you are surviving, like I'm okay, it's fine, but I'm not living in brilliance. I am not living in the fullness of what God created me to do or what he created me to be, then the HeartWork Academy is for you. Because not only are you going to learn how to disrupt that cycle of just being fine, but you will be able to discover the brilliance that God created for you. Number two, if you don't do anything different from surviving, if you just keep surviving and say it's good enough, this will work. I got what I need. It's not what I want. I don't feel fulfilled, but I got what I need. Then you go to a phase I call overwhelmed. In overwhelm, literally the water level of your life has risen to the point that you can barely hold your head above water. Like, you got too much going on. It's ill-fitting. You're carrying a burden that's too heavy for you. Not that you're not strong, not that you're not great, not that you're not intelligent, but it wasn't fitted for you. You have a brilliance that was specifically created to be fitted for you. And you can carry it. The load is light. And it's easy. Not that you don't work, not that you don't get stressed out. That's not what I'm talking about. But what was created for you fits you. Like the armor. So when David went to fight Goliath, King Saul gave David his armor, right? And David tried it on. He's like, man, this don't fit me. This is not for me. You are carrying armor that doesn't fit you. And the longer you walk around in that armor, the heavier it's going to become and the more disruptive it becomes in your life. So in the overwhelm stage, you're starting to experience the disruption. Your soul is disrupted. Your mind is disrupted. You even start experiencing it in your body. You can feel it. There is disruption going on all around you. And from the outside looking in, it's like, what's wrong with you? Everything's fine. You're okay. Everything's fine. But you know there's a shaking going on in your soul and in your spirit. That is overwhelm. That's when you can, like, man, I just feel like I can't breathe. Like everything's fine. I just feel like I can't breathe. That is overwhelm, friend. If you don't do something in overwhelm, that's when you make it to burnout. And burnout is the involuntary shutdown. Burnout is where your body, your soul, your spirit, or all three say we're done. Burnout is when your soul says, I've been sending you signals. I've been giving you red flags. The lights have been flashing. Your head has been hurting. Your muscles have been tense. You haven't been able to rest because of racing thoughts. Your emotions have been all over the place. Your relationships are breaking. All of this stuff has happened for me to send you signals, and you have not paid attention to the signals. So because you are not keeping us safe, your brain says, now I have to override you and keep us safe. Your soul says, because you haven't paid attention to the warning signals, now I have to step in and there has to be an involuntary shutdown because you haven't been listening. So in burnout, your body, your mind, your emotions, or your spirit, something says we're done. We have to stop. Something says we have to stop, right? In your involuntary shutdown, it's always inconvenient. It's always inconvenient. It's never at a time that's good for you to shut down. When is there a time for you to good time to shut down? There's never a good time for you to shut down. Y'all, don't climb my eyebrows. I know I'm not the only one that has to draw on my eyebrows. Y'all, whatever. It doesn't matter. Stay focused. But in that involuntary shutdown, it's not just you that experiences the impacts, but everybody connected to you experiences the impact. Everybody connected to you experiences the impact of your shutdown. So when I tell you all my burnout story and how I left my 20-year career with no notice, I was at the vice president level and just walked away and did not come to work the next day. That was an automatic involuntary shutdown. That was not even something that was in my mind. It's not even something that I would have considered. I had never quit anything before that. I quit the softball team in 5th grade, but don't worry about that. I was never meant to be a softball player. But anything significant, I had never quit before. I had never walked away, but because I failed to acknowledge the signals that my body was giving me, that my mind was giving me, that my spirit was giving me, there was an automatic shutdown. And I couldn't control it. I literally had nothing else to give. I had to stop. I did not have a choice in the matter. And because I had to stop so abruptly, people got hurt. My staff got hurt. My students got hurt. My income was hurt. My family was impacted. My professional reputation was impacted. Everything significant to me was impacted because of the involuntary automatic shutdown. So when I talk to you about the HeartWork community, the HeartWork Academy, it's not just for people who are already in involuntary shutdown. It's for people who don't want to get there. It's for people who recognize the signs of surviving, and they recognize the signs of overwhelm, and they recognize the signs of the impending shutdown, and they want to do something about it before they get to that point. Let me go back to overwhelm real quick, because I told you in surviving is the I'm fine. Everything's fine. It's all fine. Nothing's great. It's all fine. Overwhelm is I got it. I got it. I got it. You need any help? I got it. Can I show? I got it. Can I be there for you? I got it. Everything is I got it. And that I got it is the stiff arm, right? Like in football, it's the stiff arm to keep folks away, not because you don't need the help, but because you're afraid to allow people to get too close. You're afraid. Because in overwhelm, the people who really love you, the people who really know you, they start to notice that you're struggling. I see my sister's on, or she was on. There was a season in my life, even before my overwhelm, or even before my burnout, I went through a season that I was really struggling. And my sister recognized it. And she asked me about it. And I was like, oh, no. Everything's fine. I'll be fine. I'll figure it out. I got it. But she saw that I was struggling. And overwhelmed, when you get to that point, the people who really love you and pay attention to you, they will notice. They'll see something's going on, but you may not feel safe telling the truth about it because you really don't want anybody to get that close and see what's really going on with you. And overwhelmed, you're embarrassed that it's gotten to that point. You feel like I do need your help, but if I let you get close to see this mess that I'm dealing with, you might not respect me anymore. Or you might not love me anymore. Or you might look at me differently. If you could really see the mess that I'm dealing with emotionally, if you could really see the mess that I'm dealing with in my soul or in my body, you might not have the same respect for me. So instead of accepting the help, instead of letting somebody in, we say, I got it. I can handle it. I got it. And you really don't. You really don't have it, but you're embarrassed. There's a level of shame that comes with this burnout cycle because you feel like you should be able to handle it by yourself. You feel like you shouldn't need anybody's help. You feel like you should be able to just take care of, or you feel like you're the helper and you're not supposed to need help. You're the one that shows up for everybody else. You're the one that's called on. You're the one that's depended on. You don't know how to be helped. Sometimes my people, and I'm just talking to my people today. If this is you, you recognize what I'm saying. You don't know how to be helped because you're so used to helping other people that you don't know how to accept help. It feels like a failure. It feels like a weakness. It feels like you should not be the one needing help because you give help. But the truth of the matter is none of us were created to walk this life alone. None of us. Nobody. Nobody was created to walk this life alone. And until you recognize that, and until you connect yourself with a community with people who can support you, you're going to stay in the cycles of burnout. And if you stay in that cycle, one day you make it to the involuntary automatic shutdown and you have to change. You have to recover at that point. And I don't want you to make it to that point. And not just not make it to that point. It's time for you to thrive now. It's time for you to live in brilliance now. I'm in community with a beautiful group of women, and what we are experiencing together and what God is allowing to happen is he's allowing brilliance to pour forward in ways that we didn't even expect, like things that we couldn't make up, things that we didn't plan, things that we're not manipulating to happen. Nobody's out here jockeying for position or, trying to get to a certain level. At this point, we just want what God wants for us. Like, you can have all the extra stuff. I'm good on that. Like, I've had the titles and nothing against it. God knows I'm grateful for the positions and the places that he's allowed me to walk. But I'm good. If I never have a fancy title again, I'm good. I'm good and I'm great. Again, that's not to shun it. I've been very fortunate, but I promise you that's not all of who I am. I promise you there's more to me than what somebody else called me. There's more to you than what somebody else called you. Whatever title they gave you, whatever job description they gave you, there's more to you than what somebody else calls you. or what somebody else has to say about who you are. And once you know what that brilliance is, you can't deny it. Like, you can't deny it. And also, you don't wait on somebody else to validate you. You don't wait on somebody else to tap you on the shoulder or to acknowledge you or to promote you. You go and do the thing that God is calling you to do. And you find confidence in doing the thing that he has called you to do. And other people line up. The people who are aligned with your brilliance, they come to you like a magnet. You don't have to go seeking and searching them out. They come. Everything that you need is already provided. You just got to get in alignment. You just have to get in alignment. So I came on here today to say, if you believe that, or if you know, not just believe, let's just talk. Let's talk straight. If you know that you're not living in brilliance right now, I'll save the recording, Tanya. I sure will. If you know you're not living in brilliance right now, if you know it's time for you to be and do everything that God has called you to do, if you are tired of just being fine, if you are tired of pushing away help, if you are a person who says, I help other people and nobody helps me, you need to join the HeartWork Academy. Come get your community. Come get your community. Maybe the people around you are not equipped to support you in this season. There's nothing against your people, but they may not have what you need. If they're in the same struggle you're in, they're not equipped to help you. It is what it is, friend, and that's okay. Maybe you can get free and then bring your friends along. But if y'all are in the same trouble, who's going to bring you out? Who's going to lead the way? Who's going to lead the way? That's what, y'all, I'm just getting ready. I'm getting ready. That's what God put on my heart with the HeartWork community. He said, go back and get your people. That's why it's just $30 a month. I have charged much more for a program, and I could, but this is a step of obedience. God said, go back and get your people. Go back to the folks who've never been coached before, who may not be able to afford coaching, who know that there's more, but they just don't know what to do. Go back and get your people and tell them to take this journey with you. Don't go by yourself. When I tell y'all, so my burnout situation was in 2019. It was in the fall of 2019 through January 2020, right? Was the bulk of it for me. I've been growing ever since, but that's when it happened. It's 2023 now. When I tell you that my life is completely transformed since that day, when I tell you it's only been 3 years, but my entire life, when I tell you I'm living in something that I didn't expect, I could not have written this story for myself. I couldn't have. I didn't know enough. I didn't have enough vision. And I'm a visionary. Like, I'm a dreamer. So I've always had thoughts. I've always had ideas. I've always had visions. But when I tell you where I am right now, I couldn't make it up if I tried. That's where I want you to be. That's why I'm coming back to get you. That's why the HeartWork Academy is open. That's why the HeartWork Academy is only $30 a month, because you have no excuse. You have no excuse. And I'm about to let y'all go, but let me say this as well. Even though it's just $30 a month, I know it's still scary. I know that doing something you've never done before is unnerving. I know that even your body, your nervous system is telling you, don't do this. You don't know what to expect. What might happen? Will you be embarrassed? Will you be ashamed? I get that. I get that. I can't tell you how many things I missed out on because my brain was unfamiliar and it told me that what I was thinking about doing was dangerous. And I'm here to tell you, it takes one step at a time. One step at a time to retrain your brain to let your mind know that this is safe, and not just safe, but it's exactly what you need. So if you are someone who you need this support, if you've been following the podcast, listening to the videos, watching the lives, just consuming, but not doing anything with it, this is for you. And if you are scared, just take one step. Sign up, try it in May. Just give it a try and watch what happens. Over the next week, I'm going to be sharing some testimonials with you all from folks who are in the HeartWork Academy, who I've been working with and who will stay. They're not going anywhere. They're going to remain. I'm going to share some of their testimonies with you so that you know what people are saying. But we're going to meet once a month. You deserve $30 a month and once a month. You deserve that. You can give yourself that. If you can't bring yourself to give yourself that, you will remain stuck in cycles. So it's decision time. It's decision time. Make the investment. Click on the link in my bio or wherever you're watching this. HeartWorkAcademy.com. HeartWorkAcademy.com. Get signed up with us today. We kick off in May. We'll have our orientation. We'll have our first meeting. And we are going to walk through this journey together. We're going to walk through this journey together. It's not about time management, work-life balance, resilience, none of that. None of that. Everything that you're hearing people say about burnout is not the real solution. At the end of this process, and as you go through this process, not only will you be free, not only will you know more of who you are, but you will be walking in brilliance. It's time. Let's go. Let's get this thing done. All right. HeartWorkAcademy.com. Y'all come join us. I can't wait to serve you. And there is a loving community waiting to receive you. So y'all jump on in. If you have questions, DM me. I am ready to answer your questions, but let's get started. Okay. I got to go. I got some meetings. So let me finish getting dressed. As always, y'all know you are powerful. You are significant and you are loved. Love always, PBJ. Bye, y'all. See you later.